You ever feel like someone's looking over your shoulder? I just sold the Super Punch Out,
Yay!
and I think I had it on there for 25, offer 22, so he took it. And right now I'm negotiating a lot of posters, and there might be game ones in there. I just bought this lot of posters for $100, and there's so much. I'll show you one for now. It's the mask.
Smoking!
I'm probably gonna put that on my wall. The guy hasn't checked everything. I know there's a Leprechaun 2 poster.
I'm back!
There's easily probably $1,000 worth in here, if not more. And in there is an Earthbound poster, potentially from 1995. Probably one of the most epic buys I've ever done in years.
You might be wondering how I got in this situation. Well, I'll do my best to explain this mess. I just sold my PS2 bundle. I was scrolling on my phone looking for deals on the marketplace. In my town, I saw a guy advertise 200 movie posters, $1 each. I saw the Leprechaun 2 poster I mentioned earlier.
Kiss me. I'm Irish.
A Disney one, E.T., and that was about it. I thought to myself, I like horror.
Ooh, and the comment, now that's a really good B movie.
I wouldn't mind the Leprechaun 2 poster. I asked him how much for just the Wee Little Leprechaun poster. I know, awesome accent. He explained he wants to sell them all. So I messaged him back and said I understand and left it at that. He hits me back about 5 to 10 minutes later and says, "You're not going to give me an offer?" I explained to him only about $50 on me. He said something, "I'll give you all of them for $100, and that's a steal." So I asked him if there's any game ones in the mix. He showed me the Earthbound poster. I loved it. I was like, whoa, I wouldn't mind that on the wall. So I said, deal. We meet up. He didn't care about the values, wanted them gone. I kind of understand now why. He got them at an estate sale. I was not prepared. There were so many posters. He said there might be a few more game ones in the mix, including a Disney poster. I got home, brought them down into the basement, which is the arcade room. It took a while to truck them downstairs. Found Night of the Demon 2, Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings. Not a bad sequel. Martin, You So Crazy, a Brady Bunch movie, and this strange one. In fact, it took over half the day to find this.
I found it.
I'll admit, I don't really know the history of this display, besides it being Earthbound.
Look at that poster for Earthbound. Even has the player's guide, includes, look at that.
Then there was the value question. I had no clue.
I have no idea the value is. I'm about to ask a group.
I thought maybe 500 at the most. It was going on the wall, a cool display piece. I was going to replace my Get In or Get Out N64 poster I got last year. Still, I was curious and reached out to a group I belong to on Facebook. One of the only reasons I still use Facebook is the marketplace and groups. Does anyone know the value of this poster? It was in a rental store. I found it in a lot of movie posters. Within minutes, my phone got a message explosion. So many responses. At first, I was told the value could be about $1,500. More than one person said up to $3,000. It didn't take long to get offers. I wasn't even selling. I just wanted to know the value and anyone knew the history of the poster. I received plenty of offers, some around $1,500, some around $2,000. A few over that. I was excited to show my wife the value of that poster that once hung in a rental store in 1995. I wanted to keep it. I felt pressure to sell. Not really from those wanting it, but closer to home. The wife, which I love tremendously. She's not a collector. She couldn't fathom hanging a display like that on the wall when there's money to be made. You'll probably hear me say this a few times. You can't play a display, which is true. I love displays, but I love games more. Still, this is a once-in-a-lifetime find. This poster was in excellent condition too. I wasn't sure what to do. I found more posters. I shifted through the mess of papers and imagery. I find another game poster. Frank Thomas's Big Hurt Baseball for the Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Gear. It was in good shape too. I only had Big Hurt Baseball on the Super Nintendo and Game Boy before. It's just another sports game from the 16-bit era. Well, 8-bit being on the Game Boy. So now 2 game posters. I found a few bizarre posters. Some from movies that probably played in Skinamax back in the 90s.
A little risque.
I found The Stand, one of my favorite miniseries of all time. Probably my favorite Stephen King novel as well. You can't outrun the Dark Man.
Can't outrun the Dark Man.
Or Captain Trips.
I don't know how many different ways I can say this. This so-called super flu does not exist.
I love that show. I prefer the original over the remake from a few years ago. Now this is what I'm talking about. A 28 by 22 poster of Judge Dredd for the Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Genesis, and Game Gear. The only one I've never owned was on the Game Gear. I like this poster. This game isn't bad either. Look at that poster. I am the law. Sorting through another pile, I find 2 Three Ninja posters. Although not the original movie, in good shape though. Never saw the movies from either of these. In between a few random posters stuck in the middle, like jelly from a sandwich, there's another additional video game poster. Another sports one. ESPN with games from the Super Nintendo, Genesis, and Sega CD. This poster was a little rough compared to the previous ones I found. Speaking of finding, I stumbled across Darkman 2, Tank Girl, The Shadow, Three Musketeers, The Quest with Van Damage, Ice-T surviving the game, and Quick and the Dead. So many posters. No TMNT or Star Wars, but there were 2 Star Trek Generation posters in the mix. One big, one a little smaller. Candidly, half these posters were movies I've never heard of. And now I've seen a lot of movies. I've never seen Rent a Kid, even when I was a kid. It has Leslie Nielsen and Christopher Lloyd in it. I have to track this movie down someday. I'm about halfway through the posters and so far, no other gaming displays. I check another dozen or so, then I find Tetris Attack in excellent condition. This is a great poster. Not as rare or valuable as Earthbound, but still a nice find. I really want to keep this one too. I'm excited. So far 5 video game ones, with a ratio of 1 per every 50 movie posters or so. I still have another 150 or so to go through. What else could be in there? Another Earthbound? Super Punch-Out? Sonic 3? Street Fighter 2? None of the above. Unless I missed one, there was only 5 game posters found in the lot of 250 to 300 movie posters. There is a chance I missed one. I never found that Disney game he mentioned. There were a few Disney VHS ones, that was about it. It doesn't matter. I found the best one. Earthbound. Now the question is, what do I do with it? My collector self said, keep it. My conscience said, think of the wife. My wallet said, sell, sell, sell. Think of the games. I got an offer for $3,000. I like Earthbound, but I'm not a super fan. Plus, I wanted to help a fellow collector out, and the $100 challenge. So I took it. Please understand, I wanted to keep it. I felt some pressure. I don't blame the wife. I could have waited. Maybe I should have. The deal was done. I got my money super fast. All I had to do was ship. I got an offer for Tetris Attack that night. That sold for $150. I decided to keep Judge Dredd. The ESPN poster got some buzz, but it soon fizzled out. Instead, I'm deciding to give it away at the end of the series, along with a game or 2. As for Big Hurt Baseball, I'm not sure what to do with that one. I still have a bunch of posters I'm going to sell. So, with Earthbound, everything was done, or so I thought. I'm an honorable man. Once a deal is struck, I stick to my original agreement. I get more offers, another $3,000. But then someone offered me $8,000. $8,000. I was even told by another person that night could have got $15,000. Now that's a lot of moolah. I bought everything for $100. I just made $31.50. Big return on my investment. But it's $5,000 more. So many more games I could get. I lost sleep that night. It was very tempting. So I decided to tell my buyer what happened. I haven't shipped yet. I could have easily returned his money and in turn took the $8,000. But I am honorable, but it was tempting. So my buyer threw in some higher rollers at me. So now it really sold for about $4,100. I felt better and everything is done. I just have to wait to get the games and ship out that rare Earthbound poster. The $100 challenge just got a major plot twist. Didn't see this happening during day one. You hope and wish, but I got lucky. This is just part 1 of the poster show. Have fun, go game. See you in episode 8 of the $100 challenge. Thank you again so much for watching this episode of $100 challenge. I'm on the road to increase that video game collection, hopefully getting that jackpot grand of $20,000. Please comment, give a thumbs up, and follow. Subscribe if you haven't, it really does help me out. I'm trying to grow this channel just like growing the collection. If you're in the paranormal, I have my series Strange Occurrences. It's a series where I talk about odd life events I experienced, some on the paranormal side, and I talk about other people's stories as well. Some are known, and others not so much. Have fun, go game, and see you on the next $100 challenge or another video.